Hi there, guys. I've been waiting for the green light on this one since April 8th. In One Winged Fusion's defense, he gave an exhaustive effort in his 14-minute video on Frozen Dusk, and in lieu of the mismanagement of the Spoctor theory fiasco, I can no longer fault the man for going through and making an exhaustive effort to prove that Frozen Dusk is dating a 14-year-old. Frozen Dusk is 21 years old, and he has been dating a girl in question since she was 13. Special thanks goes out to Winged Fusion as well as Shelly D. I understand a lot of people won't be happy with the people who are able to assist in this situation, but I feel they've gone above and beyond the call of duty in this situation. I understand there are very difficult calls to be in, and I understand why Winged Fusion brought Sheldon along. This is from Black Volt, Frozen Dusk's Call.
In here, can somebody give me some context?
Basically, we're over here chatting because we want to discuss the stuff that's been happening between Frozen and a little girl called Twy.
Okay. So before you tell me that, what is your history between you two?
Basically, we met on an app called Amino. And
okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much like this app where you like
I've
chat
heard
and
of
like
it.
Yeah. And like Frozen was part of my group called Black, and I don't know, at the beginning he was alright. I was actually really good friends with him at the beginning, but then afterwards, like a couple months go by, and he started to date a little like 13-year-old.
What's I forgot your name, man. I'm sorry. Frozen. Is this a fair representation? In your opinion?
Could call it that, yes.
You would say so. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So how old is this girl? Like, how do you know how old she is? Is it what it said on her profile or something, or is she stating this?
Yeah, it's on her bio.
It's on her bio, but hey, it's the internet. Everyone can be what age they want to be. It could also be an old fart. I wasn't dating her, just more like internet relationship, so...
There will be a link down below. Again, there's already a really super well made video on the channel Horse Crew. I'm just grabbing some clips here myself and taking out some of the non-essentials of this 33-minute video. Again, it's up on Horseshoe Crew's channel. Both are.
She's actually 13.
We've been in voice chat several times. She told me so herself. I've seen.
Does she sound like she's 13? She sounds very.
Yep. And also,
okay,
I've seen her face. She sent like pictures, and yeah, she definitely looks 13.
Okay. And,
so how do you know that it's her?
Well, I would assume so because it's on her YouTube channel. I mean, I can't really believe that you're actually denying her age. Really can't.
Well, hold on, Frozen.
I thought you were being really confident
individual?
that you didn't do anything wrong.
What individual?
Well, who is? Because Fusion's telling me you're dating this person, correct? So is that true?
They were.
No.
They were dating.
You were dating. Okay. So you're not dating any longer.
No.
So when you were dating,
the other person in the voice chat right now, the one who's muted, is my current girlfriend.
Now, for full context, there is no claim or proof of any erotic roleplay. Let's try and look at this from a reasonable standpoint. If you had a 13 or 14-year-old daughter online, would you want her dating a 21-year-old man?
So you knowingly dated this person, and they were proclaiming they were 13, and you were like down for that shit. You were like, yeah, like whatever. It's just an internet relationship. It doesn't really matter. Who gives a shit? So you were down with that, correct?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Now granted, Frozen goes on to say that he didn't want the relationship to go anywhere, but then why not just be friends? He tries to play the shipping card, and I want to address a very delicate matter that Winged Fusion addresses in his video. Brony Buck's Frozen Dusk.
You know, maybe she was lying to me, but the point is that I was misinformed and it wasn't my fault. The girl feels horrible for lying to me and we're still good friends to this day. Frozen, on the other hand, does know Twy's age and that she is a minor, yet he chooses to date her anyways.
Keep in mind, this is of course a touchy subject. Winged Fusion could have shit-canned this video, but he acknowledged his mistake. which, yes, if you're watching, it doesn't necessarily mitigate any legal responsibilities. However, considering we have at least 3 instances from Toon Kritic to Dusky Novel to Performance Major of older men who understood full well that they were engaging in lewd acts with minors, albeit online, and all 3 of these gentlemen are still running around in the wild. Again, I'm not a legal expert. Based off of Winged Fusion saying that his ex was 2 years younger than she claimed, that would put her at about 16, and consent laws are in fact different from state to state. There, to the best of my knowledge, was no ill intent by Winged Fusion to commit a crime. I personally am choosing to shrug. If you're up in arms, I'd suggest maybe putting that on the back burner for the time being. I just think that there are more important things on the line, with at least as far as intent goes. We might want to just chalk this up to carelessness. Perhaps idiotic, but he addressed the action, he said it was wrong, he had no knowledge of the age at the time, and I look forward to my ex shrieking about this.
I just don't think you're being fair, Tyra. You don't know what it's like to grow up the way I grew up. You know what? How dare you? You don't know me. You have no idea where I come from, where I've been, how long I've been there, what I had to do to get from where I was to where I am now!
Asshole.
So what, you knew all this time that she was actually a small
No,
kid?
we stopped after I heard her voice.
No, you stopped after you got dumped by her.
Oh yes, of course I got dumped by her.
Well, yeah, her voice has nothing to do with it.
Fusion, just hold up. All right, man. So you're dating this girl in the car, right? She can hear me, right? So, like, do you guys do anything sexual together? Is there any of that in your relationship? Like, do you have any interest in any of that shit? Or are you just dating for no reason and you should just be friends because what's the fucking point of dating? Like why? I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. So, what are you guys doing in the relationship? Nothing.
Now, I'll be fair. Not every relationship has to be rooted in sex, but it's usually there at least a little bit, and quite frankly, again, there's some backsliding in this conversation about what Frozen is and isn't doing. Why put yourself out there to this level of scrutiny? Here, let's play this from a different angle. If you had a 21-year-old son and they were dating a 14-year-old girl, or hell, even a boy, as a parent, would you be okay with that?
It's not my problem that you can't stay in a relationship without getting your dick wet. A relationship isn't about sex, you know.
Why do you think human beings get into relationships? Why do you think that is? What do you think?
Because they like each other. What the fuck?
No, that's not why they do that. They do it for replication, because human beings replicate like every other animal. That's the point. That's the reason. The evolutionary reason we do that.
Yeah, of
For
course.
your first question, there is a sexual aspect present. Without is just no, if you understand what I mean.
Now, I've seen things like asexual couples on TV, and take that with a grain of salt because Lord knows everything on TV is real, right? It's a really poor idea to leave a 14-year-old who's emotionally and mentally vulnerable to what may well be, at best, a situation where she is groomed for 4 years till she's of age. That's assuming that Frozen Dusk doesn't get impatient. Who knows, maybe Frozen Dusk is the most virtuous man alive, and the only person who can fulfill him emotionally is a 14-year-old. There's nothing creepy or concerning about that at all. Totally off topic. If you're an adult and your kids are online from time to time, just go check in on them for fuck's sake.
I don't know, man. I think there's more to this. Like I don't get it. So you just liked her, and you're just like, yeah, let's date, and you didn't have any intention, no sexual intention, nothing at all, zero.
Not with her age. I would have waited till she.
You would have waited. You would have.
Yeah,
waited.
I would have waited.
You would have waited what? 3 years?
Yes.
You'd have
I'm a
been down
patient
for
guy, you know.
You're a patient guy, yeah. Yeah.
It's
okay.
not about sex.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Now, throughout the call in the video, Sheldon does bust the guy's balls for dating a 14-year-old, The answer is relatively simple. Don't date 14-year-olds and you won't have to hear about this shit. Now, did you hear that? It's not about the sex. I would have waited. If it's not about the sex, why are you waiting? Shouldn't the right answer be, or at least the best possible answer be, in this case, I'm not concerned about her age because I'm not interested in sex. Like, I'm not gonna say you couldn't wait the 3 to 4 years. I'm sure stranger things can happen, but you do sound like you're grooming a child. And don't get me wrong, adults do play mental games with one another. Relationships have ebbs and flows. There's manipulation that men and women do to one another. A 14-year-old isn't going to be on the same mental playing field as a 21-year-old. At least to me. Then again, I don't have a medical degree, so feel free to stop me if I'm wrong.
Hey, go up, like, if I'm friends with, like, an 8-year-old, and we're, like, really good friends, does that mean that I'm able to date her as well? Because we're really good friends? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't care. It's your life.
Okay, so if you were friends with an 8-year-old, would you then date her as well? I mean, you're friends.
I wouldn't like her. I would probably not like her like that, so...
I mean, you liked the 13-year-old like that. Why not an 8-year-old? I mean, isn't age just a number?
Indeed. But, you know...
There doesn't seem to be much consistency here. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm glad he doesn't want to date an 8-year-old, but it sounds like he knows this is wrong.
No.
And also, when I told someone about your relationship with Twy, you said that the relationship wasn't real. The relationship was like an RP. It wasn't real. So
yeah, it basically was. I didn't ever see her in real life.
But you were actually dating her. So why would you say that it's an RP? Why would you say that's fake if it wasn't?
Because it basically was an RP, a roleplay at that point.
But you two were
like
actually dating.
A dating roleplay.
You guys
wait. You're just pretending to date her. Is what you say. You're just pretending.
Why would I pretend?
Well, that's what ERPing is. You're playing a role, right? You're not seriously committing to something. It's
about how much
it's an indulgence. No, it's an indulgence in fantasy, in play. It's not actually doing something.
Well, maybe that's your opinion.
And also,
no, that's just
that's
what
actually
it is.
true. That's actually true.
That
is actually true.
To answer Mei-chan, Twy.
It doesn't even matter. I don't know why you brought that up.
Now, if you really want to bend over backwards to let Frozen Dusk off the hook, it's possible that he's arguing with Sheldon to argue with Sheldon. But when you combine that with everything else, Frozen literally let himself get turned into a cartoon, into admitting it was a relationship. Like, did this shit just happen?
And also to answer your question, Mei-chan, Twy did think that they were dating. Because when I showed Twy the screenshots, she got very upset and broke up with Frozen.
Now, I know what you're thinking. It's his ex, of course. She's gonna burn him. And then there's this.
I mean, Frozen, you were saying that I was like full of bullshit, or like that I was twisting the truth or whatever. I mean, what bullshit did I really say? Am I making stuff up?
Pretty much, yeah, because you just assumed from what you saw.
Okay, what am I assuming?
You assumed that I was in a real relationship with her.
Okay, so if I told Twy about this, and she had that like strong reaction to it, and broke up with you straight away after you said that, you know, the relationship wasn't real, isn't it safe to assume that you two were actually in a relationship?
Why would it?
So you're denying that you were in a relationship with Twy. You're denying it.
Not denying it. Not exactly denying it. Just saying it was more played than real because of her age.
I mean, wait. So were you dating her or not? Just simple answer: yes or no. Were you dating her?
No, not really.
Oh my goodness, this is. Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
I was asking you earlier. Yeah, so this person you were dating, like you were dating at one point, and you were like, yes.
See, here is the catch-22 this whole matter boils down to. This is a great place to wrap this up. Frozen wants to say it's not real, so he doesn't have to face backlash by anyone. However, if he says the relationship isn't real, the 14-year-old doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And that's what this boils down to. If you want to lie to an 18-year-old or an older girl or guy, sure, fine. That makes you a douche. But legally, you're playing on a leveled playing field. Now, normally, at most, what we would be able to call you out in that situation is calling you a douche. If this girl caught you and she would have been 18. Now, at the ages of 14, your two choices are pedophile or liar. And the mere fact that you're trying right now to think that you can get past both of these is staggering, Frozen. Stick to the legal age of consent. It's just that simple. Once again, Sheldon, thank you. 1 Winged Fusion, I expressed during How to Brony 3 that people should remain patient with you because I felt one day you'd prove yourself, that you'd pay off somewhere in the future. That day is May 6, 2018. I'm proud to say I stuck my head out and told people to believe in this man. And guys, if you don't like that, give me better heroes to champion. And Frozen Dusk, you are the stuff nightmares are made of. You are what bumps in the night. You are what watch lists are made for. If you want to pull this crap, why don't you move to some third world country where this shit's legal? God be willing, maybe you'll go missing because you'll wind up in some human trafficking, human smuggling garbage. A fate that you truly deserve. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye. In closing, I really would ask that you share, like, and pass this video everywhere you can. Or far more importantly, Winged Fusion's video. I wouldn't have known about this without him. He put a lot of time and effort into this, and I really do suggest that you, again, whether you like him or not, this wouldn't have happened. And I really think that he deserves the entirety of this credit. Well, that and Sheldon. Thank you.
I actually didn't think that she was still on Skype.
I'm looking right at it, man.
I asked her to, get off of the stuff until we got this dealt with.
Do I need to screen share with you? Because I think I'm lying.
No, I'm good.
No, I'm totally going to do that since I want to show in my recording that I am showing you. Look, there is Jasmine, Jocelyn Panda, age 25. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I didn't tell her
Why
to do that.
the fuck do you have a kid, motherfucker?
It's not just me that watches her. It's my parents as well.
Oh my fucking god. Please tell me you're just lying to me right now. Please tell me that you are not the legit caretaker of this kid. Please tell me that she's an adult and that you're not looking after a 15-year-old and you're not so fucking grossly fucking incompetent that you cannot get her to change from 25 to 15.
I told you. I asked her to get off Skype. I didn't realize she was still on there. I actually
take the computer the fuck away from her, you fucking moron! What the fuck is wrong with you?